Singaporean flag flying. The women's, all of you watching from Singapore. Your moment of history, your moment in the spotlight is going to come now. Here are the contenders. It's the great Flavia Saraiva of Brazil, the second best performer in qualification, looking to continue Brazil's streak that they started in the last World Championships of being on the podium. Sugihara Aiko, Japan have won 2 of the last 3 beam World Championship titles. She was the 5th best in qualification. She's also the reigning Asian all-around champion. Canadian legend Ellie Black. She was the 4th best in qualification. Canada has twice won silver on this apparatus, including Black in 2022. Kaylia Nemour, world champion yesterday on the uneven bars, looking to be the first Algerian to win a medal on this apparatus. She was the 8th best in the preliminary round. Dulcy Caylor of the United States of America, the 6th best performer in qualification. Part of the team that won gold at the Pan American Championships early this year in Panama City. Step forward history maker, Amanda Yap, the first gymnast ever from Singapore to make a World Championship final. You have arrived and you brought a nation with you. Sabrina Maneca, the 3rd best performer in qualification. Romania, the 2nd most successful nation on beam in the history of the World Championships. Here is the top qualifier, Jangqing Ying of the People's Republic of China. A nation who was taking more time than others, but there's a recognition now that first and foremost we've got to treat the human being's head right. We've got to let them understand themselves and treat them as a 3-dimensional individual rather than simply a machine that's out there to do sport.
Beautiful. They're not robots, they're humans.
Sometimes life gives you little treats, and one of them is starting with Flavia Saraiva in a beam final.
I agree with you there.
13.833 in qualification, the 2nd best team bronze medalist at the Olympic Games.
Wonderful. Beautiful artistry. She does a fabulous job of mixing that acrobatic with artistry.
It's a very whole body performance, isn't it, choreographically?
Yes, yes, exactly. So she's doing quite a lot of dance moves that are required now. Body rolls is one of them. Perfection. It's acrobatic series, which is one of the requirements that every athlete must have in their routine. She is one of the only athletes in the world who can perform that front aerial with straight legs, landing on a straight leg.
This is quite a start.
Quite a start. I mean, she is on today. Time for the dismount.
What a beginning to this beam final. Flavia is here. And she is determined to get onto the podium. She might well do with a performance of that quality. Flavia Saraiva. And that was Flavia's arrival into this beam final.
Wow. Gorgeous.
It wasn't just artistically extremely well performed, it was technically extremely well performed.
Absolutely. I mean, even her hands throughout the skill. You see that straight leg there.
And that's what she's iconic for, isn't it, to so many people, that amazing ability to bring the head right back in the ring position.
Yes, you cannot get credit for this skill unless the foot is as high as the head, and she does it.
High execution score in qualification. She was the best of anyone from an execution standpoint. There's high difficulty probably to come, unless she's found some extras here, which she can well do. We'll look at the difficulty score as a comparison point in a moment. The national champion of Brazil on the apparatus. She's somebody who's spoken about how tough she's found the sport at times, how she's felt burnt out. She's asked herself, why am I doing this? Why am I training? And I think that's important that athletes are frank about that sort of thing, because it gives young athletes hope, doesn't it, to know that their heroes also find life tough.
Absolutely, and she has become very famous in Brazil. She is just so loved by her country. You can see her fans cheering her on. They love Flavia, and that's a big part of it, is her telling her real journey, inspiring young athletes.
Yes, they've made the journey to Indonesia to support the Seleção Brasileira. And Flavia Saraiva, one of the prides of the sporting nation, the great sporting nation of Brazil, one of the most passionate sporting nations on earth. She won a silver medal on beam at the Youth Olympic Games back in 2014.
She's an athlete that started off in these big competitions at a very young age.
Yeah, she's absolutely a young veteran, isn't she? Still only 26. Excellent.
Wow.
13.9 from Flavia Saraiva. That could well feature. That has laid down a really fierce challenge for everyone else. And we have seen, haven't we, Sophia, over the years, many beam finals that end up with the first person who performs getting on the podium once they've gone through cleanly.
Yes.
Sugihara Aiko is next. She was the 5th best in qualification.
Love that move. She's very talented at her expression as well, and artistry.
This is another gymnast who's been around a long time on the international stage. She won the Asian all-around title this year, 10 years after her first.
Another switch ring there where the foot has to be as high as the head. Looks like she got it.
She gets unbelievable height in the double pike to conclude her performance. The two 26-year-olds with great displays to start this beam final. Sugihara Aiko, who competed at the Olympics in Rio and in Tokyo, just as Flavia Saraiva did. Saraiva also competed in Paris. That's a lovely moment between two hugely experienced and very sporting gymnasts.
And just the relief of getting off that event, it is such a tense event. So to have the relief of finishing successfully, you take that big sigh of, whew, we did it. We did the beam. One of her strengths is also her rhythm throughout her dance, which is a new requirement for the code, in the Olympic code. They want to see rhythm throughout your beam dance, moving away from poses and into true dance on the beam. Here you can see the foot meeting the head, giving her credit for this switch ring as well.
Particularly impressive at the close of this routine because of the height generated. Two people who've been competing for years and years and years and who still feel that same excitement they did as children when they do a beam routine successfully.
You can see it in their eyes and their joy.
It's lovely when people don't lose the love for the sport. Loved ones of Sugihara Aiko watching on.
You can hear in her voice how tickled she is. Oh.
She could see up on the big screen there. That was lovely. Just overjoyed. I just remind you, Japan have won 2 of the last 3 world titles on this apparatus. She is back, well and truly, Sugihara Aiko. 13.433 in qualification. By the way, I did say I'd update you on Flavia Saraiva's difficulty. 5.5 in qualifying, 5.7 in the final. So she did gain a couple of extra tenths as we wondered. Sugihara is in the lead.
Wow.
14.166. Goodness. Now, she has gained 2 tenths of difficulty, and she has gained about half a mark of execution. All of that meaning a 3/4 mark gain in the final. That's a mighty performance from Sugihara. Another extremely experienced gymnast, Ellie Black of Canada, the silver medalist at the World Championships in 2022. 4 times an Olympian, the first Canadian artistic gymnast to do it.
Full turn into another single turn. Right on. Front top blind landing on the beam, performed by few because it is a very difficult landing.
This is this interesting setup that she's put into the acrobatic series.
Oh, and it worked. Gorgeous side semi.
This is a fantastic start to a World Championship beam final. Quite sensational. And I'd just like to say at this point that the combined age of the first 3 finalists is 82.
That's a lot of years of gymnastics.
So the next time somebody says to you that gymnastics is a sport only for very young people, that someone's too old to do gymnastics, feel free to gently tell them in the nicest possible way that they are a million miles from the truth. And I'll say that now because all of the remaining finalists are teenagers. That has worked for her, hasn't it?
It's worked for her. She has to be so on with the 2-foot landing. She can't be off at all. Sometimes with a lunge landing, you can kind of find your way back to center, but with that 2-foot landing, it has to be straight. some athletes choose to wear these beam shoes to protect their feet, as well as to make turning a little bit smoother on the beam. And she did a double twist, a double turn, as you can see, using these shoes. That is allowed.
Different sort of dismount compared to the first couple, opting to twist rather than to rotate backwards in the pike position.
However, it is still the same value. A D, and she'll get 2/10 of bonus for performing a D as her dismount.
It's a crackerjack of a start to this beam final. 3 really compelling performances from 3 hugely experienced gymnasts. I think the crowd's rather enjoying it. Hope you are too, wherever you're watching from. It's wonderful to have your company. Thank you for being part of these World Championships in Jakarta, being part of the great community that is the gymnastics family. Gentlemen who get me company on commentary yesterday, watching on.
The other athletes ambassador here at this World Championships, Hugh Smith.
And one of the sporting world's most iconic flags, the Canadian maple leaf, which I believe was adopted in the 1960s. But I hope I haven't misjudged that. Apologies to the Canadians if I have got that wrong, but I think it was adopted in the 60s. Has gone on to become one of the most well-known flags, as she's gone on to become one of the most well-known gymnasts. 13.6 is Ellie Black's score. She's improved from qualification and is in the bronze medal position. Now over to the young guard to come through. We've got Kaylia Nemour to start off a succession of teenagers in this beam final. 8th best in qualification. Let's see what she does for the mount sequence.
She's going for it.
Now that's interesting. So that will mean, I believe, for the acrobatic series, she'll need to land on 2 feet.
Wow.
One can't do more than 2 layout step outs in a beam routine.
Correct.
What is going to be interesting is what happens when she works close to the apparatus, when she goes down into the Cossack position to do the sit spins, because that is where she came off in the all-around final.
Here it is.
Just did a single. She said after the all-around final that she just wasn't sure exactly what had happened and why it had happened, and that's a fair reaction, that's a human reaction.
Yeah.
It takes time sometimes to know.
This is one of those times where they did reduce the value to make sure she stayed on.
Back handspring, double pipe to conclude. Well done, Kaylia Nemour. That showed enormous strength of character after the problems that she had on beam in the all-around competition. And by the way, her credentials are clear. She has the capacity to be a leading all-around gymnast in years to come.
Absolutely. She is so young amongst these veterans, and to see her performing at this level already, you just think, where is she going to take us next?
Her mentality is quite amazing. Her ability to so consistently deliver that uneven bars routine. And we all have to stop every now and then and go, she isn't just that uneven bars gymnast. She is that all-around gymnast that we're talking about.
You're right, you're right. She's showing us that. She says, I'm not just bars. She's a beautiful gymnast on beam, on floor, and has an incredible vault as well. It's wonderful how she's able to improvise and, as you said, change up the routines last minute regarding how that routine is going that day, what's best for her that day, and choose it.
And she's also not been afraid to do that in her life, actually off the apparatus, in changing her training environment, in choosing to switch her national eligibility, in choosing to represent Algeria, the nation of her father's birth. She's shown courage, and she's shown a desire to forge her own path, a different path from the path that others had envisaged for her if she disagrees with that path. And that's a wonderful lesson for not just young people, but any people, about seizing control of your own destiny, no matter how hard that can be to do, and recognizing that others don't get to dictate for you what you can and can't be, how successful you can and can't be, and what dreams you should or shouldn't have.
Beautifully said.
This is a very compelling beam final. I've just realized I don't think I've taken a breath during it. I've been very tense.
I mean, they have just been so solid, each one of them.
Certainly providing great entertainment for the spectators in a very lively Indonesia arena here in Jakarta. So what number will it be for Kaylia Nemour, who scored 13.233 in qualification? That was the 8th strongest. This will take us to the halfway stage of the competition. 4 gymnasts still to come. The split warm-up system has been in operation now for several years to allow gymnasts to actually have contact time with the apparatus, to not go in so cold. And that's a very important thing, because the athlete's safety has got to be the most significant concern, always. Yes, well, consider that to be rather different from qualification. 14.3, Kaylia Nemour has gone into the gold medal position. Her difficulty, 6.2. We said a lot would depend on what she produced with that mount. You said after that mount she's going for it. You were right, she's gone for it, she went for it, and now she's got it. She's in the lead.
Wow.
The warm-ups have already taken place in the time that we were waiting for the score to come in for Kaylia Nemour, so we're right on now to Dulcy Caylor, the 6th best in qualification. Just to remind you, it's Nemour, Sugihara and Saraiva, 1, 2 and 3.
This is Dulcy's first World Championship. She's the youngest competitor here. Wow, and she has just proven to be ready. She is ready to take on the world stage for the United States of America.
Yes, a young member in an American team that is quite experienced, an American team that always has pressure associated with it. Any time that you are required and privileged to wear the leotard of the USA in women's gymnastics, you bring with you one of the greatest legacies in the sport, and that takes real character to handle, and she's shown real character at these championships.
She has. She has been so composed. Wow, what a save there. That was pure reflex talent. Shows off her flexibility to add to those artistry tenths.
setting herself for the conclusion of this beam final. And unfortunately, just a little low coming into the landing, and the hands go down. I say what I've said throughout. There is so much to enjoy about the gymnastics of Dulcy Caylor. That save in the wolf turns was incredibly composed.
Incredible. I mean, still such a gorgeous routine and solid. She received connection bonus for this triple series here. Still incredible performances over her days here and at World Championships, being her first.
This is that moment. Nice to see it in slow motion, how she rescued a potential full mark deduction.
Right here.
Made it look as though nothing had really happened of any consequence.
You're right. Almost looks choreographed. Beautifully done.
The creation of the rising wolf turn.
The Dulcy.
She's a gymnast with a certain style, a poise when she performs.
Very much so. Quite unique skills we'll see on the floor exercise as well, coming next.
Regrettably, at close of play, last moments of the routine, trying to generate all of the power that she needed, and hands go down. Not fully rotated, so a full mark will come away from the score. We are very close to a moment of gymnastics history. The next competitor has quite a story, and the biggest chapter of it is about to come. And she'll have more chapters in her gymnastics life too. Very appreciated by not just the American delegation, but by the fans here, teammates watching on from the stands. And doubtless a hugely important experience this for Dulcy Caylor. 11.8 is the score. She's in 5th position. Nemour still leads, then Sugihara, then Saraiva. Take a picture of your screen. This is a moment of history. Amanda Yap, the youngest in this final, the 15-year-old, is about to become the first Singaporean gymnast ever to compete in any World Championship final. Huge congratulations to her. She brings her nation onto the world stage in a final for the first time. And by the way, she's a lovely gymnast to watch.
Wow.
This is absolutely stunning.
It's just perfect. Wow. Landing after landing.
Whatever score that gets, you've just witnessed one of the greatest moments of these championships. A 15-year-old gymnast from Singapore, the first from her nation ever to make a World Championship final, and she delivers a performance like that. It's incredible.
Wow, what a celebratory moment for her country.
And just to add to this, I'm sure many of you watching around the world know the story. After qualification finished, she had to fly home to Singapore, which fortunately is close to Indonesia, to sit an O-level mathematics paper. She's then flown back, having completed that most important part of her academic studies. And she made this look, frankly, academic.
Wow.
I hope she does as well in the maths paper as she's done there. She won't be losing much. To tell you a little more about her, she is the reigning Singaporean all-around champion. Her older sister, Emma, is competing here as well. Emma Yap, those of you who watch the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham will remember as a beautiful dancer on floor. Emma Yap is the reigning Singaporean floor champion, and Amanda has got that degree of choreography on beam as well. It clearly is something that the two sisters enjoy.
I wonder if they learn from each other.
Yes, doubtless they must take inspiration from each other at the championships like this. It must be wonderful to actually be able to lean on each other for support.
Yeah.
She actually had to switch her phone off when it was the night before her exam, because it was the same night that she found out she'd qualified at 10 p.m. for the beam final. Her phone was going absolutely berserk with messages, and she wouldn't have been able to sleep, she said. So switched the whole thing off, woke up, did the maths paper, got back on a plane, came here. That's magnificent. Drink in every moment of this, Amanda Yap, and come back for more, because we'd love to see you again. 13.333 for her. Good execution score. She's actually improved upon her score from qualification as well. Now, Sabrina Maneca has a very complex routine. She's the second to last to perform. 13.833 in the preliminary round.
Oh my goodness, this is the only series you will see in the World Championships like this. Round off layup with a full twist. Another series. It was so high. Looks like her foot was just slightly off center.
She really goes for it, doesn't she, with ambitious difficulty, and that comes with risk.
Absolutely. Double turn.
Much to admire in the determination, in the ambition of this young gymnast. And she gets commendable height going into the tuck position to dismount. Very nearly. It had some wonderful moments.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned that acrobatic series, the round-off layout with the full twist. And it is one of the very hardest things that can be done on the beam. Why is it such a complicated piece of gymnastics? What is it that makes it so challenging?
Definitely the twist in itself. So as you go into the flip, if you start that twist just a hair, and I mean a hair of a hair too early, pulling for the twist is going to pull you off center from the beam. So as the nerves are up, the tension is up, it's really hard for these athletes to know exactly when that perfect timing is to start the twist so that you can manage to stay straight.
Just a fraction, and that's the nature of beam.
Yes. This is another risky skill here. Not many athletes try and do more than just a single toe turn.
Certainly is a performance laden with complexity, as is always the case with Sabrina Maneca. We'll see more of that certainly on the floor exercise, where she's right up there contending.
Absolutely. Even that round off back handspring dismount is very, very unique.
She's still only a teenager, Sabrina Maneca, 18. The gymnast from the fine gymnastic city of Constanța, the oldest continuously inhabited city in Romania. It's on the Black Sea coast. And she made the final at the Olympic Games on beam. 12.533.
Still a fairly high score with a fall.
You're absolutely right, especially with the potential that she has to get more difficulty in, because she was 4/10 down on difficulty from qualification.
Wow.
On the subject of difficulty, Jangqing Ying had a D score in the preliminary phase of 6.5. That will be 3/10 higher than Kaylia Nemour if she can produce it. Nemour's execution was 8.1. That's about 3/10 higher than Jangqing Ying's was in qualification, so could cancel each other out. Let's see.
She started getting a bonus 10th right off the bat there with acro dance combined. Wow, another bonus 10th there. Here's another ring that we talked about earlier, about how that foot has to reach the height of the head in order to get credit. Oh, gorgeous core, but
she does some very interesting and unusual work. So much of her difficulty comes from the combination jumps.
And those specific jumps are very difficult to perform because the feet have to land perfectly at the half.
Lovely double pipe to conclude as well. Jangqing Ying throwing down the challenge to the experienced gymnast who started off this competition. Not that she is inexperienced. She made the beam final at the last World Championships, finished 6th. A very memorable routine in terms of its construction from the 18-year-old. The only gymnast doing that. Very interesting back handspring into the crossways support.
Yes, it's called a corbett. And when it was initially performed, they added a back hip circle around the beam.
I think that has meant a lot to her, that performance, especially after being away from the podium last time.
Here it is. She has to catch just right to land on her hips.
There's enormous risk associated with that, isn't there? Because a fraction off, and you can end up almost essentially handing a full mark of deduction. Very easy for that to become a fall.
Absolutely, and it's all dependent on how straight she jumps up so that she can spot the beam and land with her shoulders perfectly in front to plunge down. Otherwise, she'll fall forward or potentially fall backward.
She actually said ahead of the national championships this year, I wasn't that stable or confident as a gymnast years ago, but now I've grown up and gained more courage. Maybe she's come back to these world championships naturally, as people often do as they get older, just more experience, more used to big competitions, and with a little more belief in herself. She's been the Asian champion on this apparatus. What about at the World Championships? 14.3, Kaylia Nemour, Sugihara Aiko, 14.166. Flavia Saraiva, 13.9. That is your podium as things stand. They wait, as we all wait, for the score of Jangqing Ying. And it's a nervous wait for all, especially for Nemour, Sugihara and Saraiva. It's gold! 15.166. She picks up 4 additional tenths of difficulty with fabulous execution and takes the World Championship title. Jangqing Ying, more Chinese success on this apparatus. Kaylia Nemour wins the silver medal. Sugihara Aiko takes the bronze, and commiserations to Flavia Saraiva, who just misses out, finishes in 4th position. What a stunning way to finish.
Wow, what a score. A 15 on the balance beam is incredibly high.
We said at the start of her routine that there was a lot of difficulty in it. She managed to find 4 more tenths, and in doing so, produced a routine 7 tenths higher in difficulty than anyone else. But not only that, it actually had the highest execution score too.
Wow, which is what we were talking about at the beginning of this event, is finding the balance, balance, between difficulty and cleanliness, and she managed to do both.
The classified results in the women's balance beam final: bronze to Sugihara Aiko of Japan, silver to Kaylia Nemour of Algeria, and gold to Jangqing Ying of the People's Republic of China. We're going to take a pause from the action for a moment and bring you 2 victory ceremonies. Scenes of celebration to follow here in Jakarta. Don't go too far away. It's now time for the victory ceremony in the women's vault competition. The men's vault competition even. What am I talking about? The victory ceremony in the men's vault competition at the World Championships here in Jakarta. This was an absolutely spectacular final. It's the moment that any athlete dreams of, when their name is called out in the victory ceremony at a World Championships. To climb the summit, to make it to the top. Nazar Chepurny, the bronze medalist, again in the men's vault competition. You cannot keep him off the world podium. Despite the difficulty disadvantage that Arta Davtyan brought into this final compared to the eventual winner, he ran him incredibly close. Fractions, tiny fractions separating them. The beauty of the Armenian vaulter's execution, carrying him to silver and another medal on the world stage. Reservist in the Philippines Navy, Carlos Yulo is a petty officer first class. He's first class in everything he does, especially when he takes to the vaulting table. To stick, to not move your feet landing a piked Dragulescu is the stuff of fantasy, and he makes it the stuff of reality. His feet placement on the landing as assured as his place in sporting history. Having given the championships to the world, Southeast Asia is taking something back. We'll now have the national anthem of the Philippines. The playing of Lupang Hinirang, the national anthem of the Philippines, composed in 1898 by Julian Felipe. And there they are, the medalists in the men's vault competition at the Jakarta 2025 Championships of the World in the beautiful sport of artistic gymnastics. Just when you think Carlos Yulo can't get any better, turns out he can. the victory ceremony for the women's balance beam competition. The winner of the bronze medal in the balance beam competition is Sugihara Aiko of Japan. A gymnast of longevity and of determination, and she is on a world championship podium. It's happened for the first time. The silver medal after the dominating performance on the uneven bars. Absolute redemption for Kaylia Nemour on the beam after the difficulties she had in the all-around competition. That was a display of unbelievable character from this young gymnast. Not that unbelievable character should ever surprise us with Kaylia Nemour. The winner of the gold medal with an almost outrageous score, 15.166, to produce that at any point, let alone at the Championships of the World. She was 6th at the last World Championships, her debut World Championships. Now she climbs and climbs and climbs all the way to the very top. Jangqing Ying, your champion of the world. Now the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all rise for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
And there they are, the medalists in the women's balance beam competition at the World Championships here in Jakarta. We just heard the March of the Volunteers, the national anthem of the People's Republic of China. It's been the official anthem since 1978.